KUAM News Hotspot is brought to you by
Pacific Points, Do More, Get More, and Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Okay, I'm going to talk in all area codes here. We are broadcasting from the 671 out to the entire world on KUAM TV, on YouTube, and on Facebook. I'm Jason Salas. We are KUAM, and we are coming to you live from the 96913 here in Harmon. Let's get this thing started.
The menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the Fresh Garden Bar.
We are going to tell you about hospitalizations involving children are up at the Guam Memorial Hospital. Also, were you affected by the heavy rains and flooding yesterday? We'll get up to speed on the weather. Also, the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce is holding a Breakfast with the Candidates event. And Gifted and Talented Education is holding auditions for the classic play, Little Shop of Horrors. Feed me, Seymour. Now, for the past 2 weeks, as we told you last night, there have been an overflow of patients over at Guam's only public hospital in the pediatric ICU. Now, the flurry of young hospitalizations were a result not just of the seasonal flu, but also some very aggressive viruses. GMH officials are breathing a huge sigh of relief this morning as the number of cases are finally starting to subside. Nestor Lecanto has this story.
Because the pediatric ICU was filled to capacity at one point, the hospital was forced to open a second room to handle the overflow of young children with breathing difficulties. Internal medicine and pediatric specialist Dr. Akua Agiman.
The human metapneumo and rhinovirus have been pretty aggressive. The children have been very, very sick. They've been requiring intubation. Some of them lengths of stay are almost 2 weeks. And for most of that time, they've been on increased respiratory support.
She says the typical stay at the ICU is 3 or 4 days, but these recent cases lasted much longer, adding to the overflow conditions. And as the lone pediatric ICU on island, GMH was also getting referrals from GRMC and the Naval Hospital.
I was very grateful that we had that many respirators, because I was not expecting to have that many children with respiratory distress. And I think probably COVID was a good practice run for GMH.
During this flu season, parents of infants and young children are advised to be on the lookout for any breathing difficulties and also keep an eye out for their older siblings as well.
I would say if you have, pretty young children around the 18 months or less, if you have older children who are coming in with colds from school, be careful about letting them play with the children and, pick them up and so on, because the older kids are fine. They just have a cough and a cold and they do okay. But then the younger ones are the ones coming in.
The overflow conditions have now eased and the hospital is ready for any new wave that might come.
Now we are at the tail end of everybody who came in over the last 2 weeks getting better and going home. We are back to business as usual.
For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Well, in weather news this morning, torrential rain and flooded streets seem to be the order of the day on Monday, Tuesday also. And from the north to the south of our island community, no matter where you were, if you went outside, you definitely saw the impact. This was no doubt caused by the nonstop rain, causing quite a bit of flooding all the way from Pago Bay, Polaris Point, over in Assen, and everywhere else in between. Our Daniel Perez was at the scene of one such flooded site, speaking with residents that were affected by the heavy rains and impassable streets.
In the village of Chalampago, Ordot, one street was so flooded a school bus carrying high school students got stranded. According to the bus driver, they had been stuck for quite a while before one resident from the village pulled them out. Lauren Agar lives near the flooded street and detailed that the flooding in the area is common.
It's pretty bad. Our mayor is aware. They have tried to dig up the side before, and that kind of helped, but not too much. So whenever it does rain, it gets pretty bad. It takes usually about half of the day in order for it to drain out. So a lot of times we're just stuck here. Just because where we live, our road just has that little dip before you get to the top of the hill. And so the ones that are on the hill, we kind of just have to wait it out and just go from there with Mother Nature.
And wait they do when the flood rolls in. But some of the residents who live on the street still need to go places or to work, some even going as far as paddleboarding through the flood just to get across. Matthew Kaskassen lives right near where it usually gets flooded. His mom had mentioned to him about the severe flooding, but today was the first time he actually saw it firsthand.
Not sure, something's clogged up. Maybe there's a clog somewhere where the water's supposed to go. Maybe that has to be taken a look at and taken care of. That way it's not an inconvenience for us.
Residents are urged to be on the lookout for floods in their area and on the main roads, as the island is currently in the flood watch until tomorrow, so expect more rain. As for the bus full of students, KUAM did speak to the man seen towing it out of the flood, who said he was just happy to help. He was also seen assisting in pulling other cars to safety. Daniel Perez, KUAM News.
All right, thanks so much for that story, Daniel. Good hustle around the island on the weather situation. From the crime beat this morning, a former mixed martial arts fighter accused of attempted murder is working out a plea deal in his case. Roman Alvarez appeared before presiding judge Alberto Lemerena on Tuesday, and it was said in his honors courtroom the plea negotiations are ongoing with prosecutors. Until that time, the judge told the parties that new trial dates are to be set. In February, if you recall, Alvarez was involved with a fight with another man who then allegedly hit with his car outside of a nightclub down in Tucumán. Elsewhere, it was quite the alarming incident up at Andersen Air Force Base in the base's front gate as a man accused of allegedly threatening to blow up and kill everyone at the different military bases on Guam has been placed under arrest. 56-year-old Paul Sanchez has been charged with terrorizing with a pair of counts of assault. Court documents state that police responded to the Barrigada Readiness Center Friday. Of course, that is the Guards base. The alleged victim told police that Sanchez called and spoke of the military stealing his family's property and demanding that it be returned. He then allegedly threatened to kill everyone down at Naval Station, up at Andersen, and at the Guard Center over in Barrigada. Police then issued a be on the lookout notice for Sanchez this weekend, and he was picked up at the Andersen main gate in Jigo. Court documents state that the gate guard was a Veterans Affairs ID, but was stopped after military authorities found out that he was wanted by GPD. Sanchez then allegedly attacked the airman before 3 security forces officers detained him. Internationally, President Biden and other G7 leaders are pledging their undeterred support for the Ukraine, which has been the target of relentless missiles from Russia. Officials say at least 19 people were killed when Ukrainians endured one of the largest Russian air attacks in the nearly 8-month war.
For a second straight day, Russian forces kept up attacks on Ukrainian cities, terrorizing civilians in the south and elsewhere. The owner of a car shop that was destroyed expressed sadness at the death of a security guard. This woman was rescued from her home after a Russian anti-aircraft missile hit the area. The fresh attacks come just a day after Russia struck cities and critical infrastructure across Ukraine Monday, following an attack on a key bridge to Russian-occupied Crimea. In an emergency meeting, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called on the leaders of the G7 countries to send more air defense systems. He warned Russian President Vladimir Putin could escalate the conflict even further. In a joint statement after that meeting, President Biden and the leaders of the other group of 7 countries vowed to continue to provide military and financial support for Ukraine, promising severe consequences if Russia uses nuclear weapons. In an interview with CNN airing tonight, President Biden shared his thoughts on Putin.
I think he is a rational actor who's miscalculated significantly.
Earlier in St. Petersburg, the Russian president met with the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency to discuss safety concerns at a nuclear power plant in southern Ukraine now occupied by Russian forces.
We do have issues that have to do with the nuclear safety.
Putin is expected to meet with Turkish President Erdogan Wednesday to discuss the ongoing war with Ukraine.
Back in our part of the world, and regionally to be specific, the FSM is easing travel restrictions into all of the states throughout the Federated States of Micronesia. COVID booster doses are no longer required for travel to the FSM, as Yap State, Chuuk State, Pohnpei, and Koshrai are also fully open for interstates and international travel as of October the 10th. However, after you book your flight, you will be asked to show documentation which indicates that you are in fact fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and will have to complete a health declaration form. Should you not have any COVID symptoms, you are not required to quarantine at all. However, the FSM government encourages travelers to delay trips to Chuuk because of the spike in COVID cases in that Pacific Island territory. It is time for News Bites, where my good friend Joe Sir brings up this wonderful graphic on the side, and we get you up to speed on everything that's happening around the island. And first off, thank you, Joe Sir, the Salvation Army Guam will be holding a Harvest Fest and Spooky House, which will be from October 27th through the 29th and the 31st, of course, that being Halloween, from 6 to 9 every night. The mini carnival will be on Halloween from 6 to 9 as well. The Spooky House is by cash donation only, and games at the carnival are 1 ticket per game. You get 4 tickets for every $1 you spend. Tickets can be purchased at the Salvation Army's thrift store or at the administrative office. Relief Society Sisters in the Barrigada Guam ward of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, organized a clothing donation for the members in the islands in Chuuk. Members throughout the Barrigada Guam stake participated in donating clothes to help those members. Great job by everybody there. Our friends at IT&E have announced the addition of Rena Marie Guzman as their director for Guam and the CNMI. She has a total of 16 years of experience in tech in the Philippines and the Asia-Pacific region, most recently as board director and transformation leader, customer experience of Cisco Philippines. Also, great shot. Governor Lulian Guerrero is in the Philippines conducting a slate of meetings relative to the economic issues of mutual concern and the overall Guam-Philippine relations. And that is News Bites for today. If you have anything that you would like us to mention, make sure to DM us, and you can email us at reporters@KUM.com. All right, it is Wednesday, so we are going to give you the chance to go to Tango Theaters and catch an amazing film on the big screen. So here it is, the chance for you to win movie passes. Now, what I need to know, Lyle Lyle Crocodile opened, of course, last weekend, and what singer is the voice of Lyle the Crocodile himself, Lyle Lyle Crocodile, in the new film? Is it Justin Bieber? Mike Villagomez's favorite song, Baby, Baby, Baby? Is it Ed Sheeran? I think that's Daniel Perez's main jam. Or is it Shawn Mendes? Either JB, Ed Sheeran, or Shawn Mendes. I'm trying to be cool with all the music that the kids are into, but A, B, or C? Let me know. Please email me. My email address is jason@KUM.com, or you can DM us at KUM News, either on Instagram or Facebook. Who voices Lyle Lyle Crocodile in the new film by that very name? Is it Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, or Shawn Mendes? All right, please stay tuned, because coming up, we will give you details to the Breakfast with the Candidates hosted by the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce. We go live in the field with Hannah Devanzo when we come back.
Dance party.
Let's go.
When inspiration strikes, say yes with the new Priority Unlimited credit card from First Hawaiian Bank. Wherever you shop, whatever you're shopping for, you can earn 2% cash back on everything you buy. From small stuff to big stuff to stuff you want. A card that rewards you for every purchase and helps you stay connected to everything that matters.
Today, I'm Kelina from Doc's Kitty College.
And I'm Kristen from Doc's Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The Governor's Child Care programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the Governor's Child Care programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
Pacific Points is more rewarding with friends. From now until December 31st, get 300 bonus points for every friend you refer that signs up and earns points. Both you and your friends will enjoy awesome rewards like free Shell fuel, rebates on your IT&E bills, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. Plus, earn more points to upgrade your membership tier and enjoy even more exclusive rewards. Learn more at PacificPoints.com or download the app. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
KUAM News, winner of the 2022 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Culture Club.
We truly have the best job in showbiz, everybody. We just sit here, our entire team goes all over the island, scouring for the best stories, and we just bring them to you. All you got to do is just stream us and let us know what you think. This is the HotSpot, and on Friday, our friends at the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce are going to host a Breakfast with the Candidates event down at the Hyatt Regency Guam. Now, joining me live with more information is a very capable woman herself in her own right, Hannah Devanzo, who is sitting with some of the membership of the chamber. Hannah, what have you got?
Thanks, Jason. I'm here at the Women's Business Center in Hagåtña. Joining me is Alex Letty and Helena Leon Guerrero. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Thank you for having us.
And as you know, the general election is just 27 days away. Early voting has begun. The pressure is now starting to set in, and you guys are throwing a forum. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and let Alex talk about the first forum, and I'll have something for you later.
So our forum is Friday, the 14th at Hyatt Regency Guam. It'll be 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll have Governor Lou Leon Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, and then the congressional candidates, Senator Jim Moylan and Dr. Judy Wampat. Sorry, they'll be joining us in the morning for the forums, and then KUAM will be there as well. They'll be recording, and breakfast is included. For members, it'll be $35, and non-members is $40. Tickets are on sale on our website.
Yeah, and so you kind of touched on this. When do doors open? 7:30?
7:45.
7:45, and then breakfast is included?
Yes.
Give us a little bit about the rundown. You know, when people arrive, what can they expect?
So when you come in, we'll have Guam Election Committee and Action PAC outside. They'll be giving information on the candidates, and for all of the candidates, legislative, gubernatorial, and then the congressional. Guam Election Committee will be there as well to help people get registered to vote if they're not already registered. Breakfast will be open by 7:45. So once you get there, you can find a seat, you can get your breakfast started, and then we will start the show promptly at 8:30.
And you just touched on this, but people can actually register to vote while they're there as well, right?
Yes, so Guam Election Committee will be there. They'll have everything you need so long as you have your ID, and they'll help you get registered to vote this election season.
Okay, awesome. And then you also had some exciting things to touch on.
Yeah, so, as you know, Guam Women's Chamber has an annual calendar packed with events. Professional development opportunities, mentorship, our general membership meetings, as well as fundraising events. Our last event of the year after our general membership meeting is our annual golf tournament. We dubbed it our golf party. It's our 9th year, actually, and the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce has kind of mastered the golf tournament experience. So we're here to invite people to come register for our tournament. It's on Saturday, October 22nd at the Starts Guam Golf Resort.
Okay, that's so exciting. I know you were telling me to come out to that. So, I know it can sound intimidating for people who have never done golfing like myself, but beginners are welcome, right?
Absolutely, all levels of golf. It's just a fun way to get out, engage with the business community outside of the conference rooms. Our golf tournament is really fun. We give great ditty bags. There's snacks included, lunch. We tell players to look out for our 19th hole. It's our bar on wheels, so it makes its way around the course, providing drinks, libations to keep our players happy and hydrated. But yeah, we have great raffle prizes. Everyone's invited. You come out, you can take a whack at playing, or if you are more interested in volunteering, we're looking for that as well, just to be part of the community and meet more people and help our organization with this really important fundraising opportunity.
Yeah, and where can people go to sign up for that?
You can sign up at our website. It's at guamwomenschamber.com. You can buy your tickets for either the breakfast with the candidates or the golf tournament. We still have some seats available, but it is getting packed. So grab your golf buddies, your business friends, and we'd love to have you on October 22nd.
Okay, great. And back to the forum, because I know it's coming up on Friday. You were mentioning this is a very neutral event, right?
Yes. So we wanted it to be very conversational. We are not looking to have it become a debate situation. It's going to be, the candidates are presented with a question. They have an allotted time to answer and share their thoughts or their plans or strategy or whatnot, and then we'll pivot to the next candidate and they'll give their answer to the question. But there won't be any rebuttals. Inside the ballroom, it's going to be very neutral, no campaign material inside. So we're hoping that everyone that comes out is expecting and ready to hear what they can expect should their candidates come into office this year.
Yeah, it's great because, if you don't, this is a great opportunity if you don't know the candidates well to just really in a neutral environment, hear what their platform is, hear what they have to say. So that's great. And is there like a max capacity that you're taking?
At the moment, we are pretty close to capacity. Because we're just a few days out, we're needing to give them the final count by the end of the day. So I would
get your
say,
tickets soon.
Otherwise, by tomorrow, we may not be able to make room for it.
Yeah, and what went into preparing for the forum?
So we did have to send out the invitations fairly early on. Everyone received one, and as you know, we did the legislative forums just at the end of September. Anyone who participated or came out to that was able to kind of get a glimpse of what to expect. It was very, very well received. There was no animosity or anything. Everyone was really cooperative, and I myself learned so much. That was my first time getting to sit with so many candidates in one room. So I think that going into this one, we took everything we learned from that and then just tried to make it even better for this conversation. And I think this was one of the first that the congressional candidates will be sitting together and being able to share with the live audience. So we're pretty excited to host that.
Yeah, and it's just an important platform that we want to allow our members and the community really engage with these candidates. And as we know, women in business have a very specific point of view and very specific stories and issues that they'd like addressed. So giving them that free space to really address these topics is really important to us.
Well, ladies, thank you. Is there anything else you guys want to add? Any other information?
Nope. We'd just like to invite you all to get your tickets quickly for the Breakfast with the Candidates or the golf party at www.guamwomenschamber.com.
Thanks. We'll send it back to you, Jason.
All right, thanks so much, Hannah. Great job there. And thank you to the women of the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce for having us on their show. I got to say, you may disagree, but Hannah also fantastic job color coordinating with the chair. Orange on orange. I read somewhere that the smartest people in broadcasting, do the monochromatic thing. Just saying. All right, so we want to invite you to go check out the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce. That is Breakfast with the Candidates. Again, that is going to be on Friday. I have the very distinct pleasure of I'll be emceeing and overseeing the conversation for the congressional side. That, of course, featuring, as Hannah was mentioning, Dr. Judy Wonpat and Senator Jim Moylan. We will also have the gubernatorial will be before both camps were invited to participate. Only the Leonguero Tenorio camp has confirmed their participation. So make sure to check that out. We'll also be live streaming that for you. All right, good stuff coming up on the HotSpot after this commercial break. We will show you how to audition for Little Shop of Horrors. Do you want to be Audrey? Do you want to be Audrey 2? Do you want to be Seymour? Do you want to be part of the Greek chorus and everything? Lots of opportunities to flex your muscle with the performing arts. Ernest Choco is after this.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
There's epic, then there's ultra epic. Capture life in vivid resolution with Galaxy's most advanced camera system and the built-in S Pen that puts you in control. Every moment, every angle, from sunrise to sundown and beyond. More striking, more stunning than ever. Find the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra at your nearest iTunes store or online at ite.net and change the way you work and play.
As the Decision 2022 race shapes up, keep it with KUAM News for all the news you need to know as you head to the polls. From weekly candidate profile analysis on the hub on KUAM News Hotspot to our online candidate directory on KUAM.com, special features on KUAM Digital and KUAM News Primetime, plus live coverage of forums and debates. We're your one-stop source on every platform. Stay informed with KUAM News, your news leader, the voice of the Marianas.
Half a day. I'm Kelina from Doc's Kitty College.
And I'm Kristen from Doc's Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The governor's child care programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the governor's child care programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
Dance party.
Let's go.
When inspiration strikes, say yes with the new Priority Unlimited credit card from First Hawaiian Bank. Wherever you shop, whatever you're shopping for, you can earn 2% cash back on everything you buy. From small stuff to big stuff to stuff you want. A card that rewards you for every purchase and helps you stay connected to everything that matters.
Pacific Points is more rewarding with friends. From now until December 31st, get 300 bonus points for every friend you refer that signs up and earns points. Both you and your friends will enjoy awesome rewards like free Shell fuel, rebates on your IT&E bills, vouchers at Foodies and United Mileage Plus miles. Plus, earn more points to upgrade your membership tier and enjoy even more exclusive rewards. Learn more at PacificPoints.com or download the app. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Half a day, I'm Nick Delgado with your Think Pink news update. As October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we want to share some important facts with you. In 2022, an estimated 287,500 new cases of invasive breast cancer will be diagnosed in women in the U.S., as well as 51,400 new cases of invasive breast cancer this year. An estimated 43,550 women will die from breast cancer in the U.S., although rare, men get breast cancer too. 1 in every 100 diagnoses are men. 1 in 8 women in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. On average, every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer in the U.S. Though the statistics are alarming, there are healthy lifestyle choices you can make to reduce your risk of a diagnosis. Maintain a healthy weight through balanced nutrition and regular physical activity. If you are a new mother and are able to, breastfeed your babies. Know how your breasts normally look and feel, do self-exams regularly, and talk to your doctors right away if you notice changes. Talk to your doctor if you have a higher risk, including a family history of cancer. Schedule mammograms regularly based on your doctor's recommendation for your age and risk factors. Let's all think pink this October and learn more about early detection and prevention of breast cancer.
Think Pink this October. This message is brought to you by the KUAM Care Force in partnership with Island Cancer Center and the American Cancer Society.
Yasunto gilingwahe ni Tataw Tano gi KUM News Tomorrow News Update sa stream gi internet gi Isla Radio kami KUM News YouTube na channel. Pati esti giliuda din kinimitin mami para insisteni ilinalay lingwahita din kulturata para todo henerasyon siya. Ninafatwi sa Tomorrow News Update ni Fabilan Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank.
KUAM News, winner of the 2022 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Culture Club.
We are here and you are out there, and we really appreciate you guys watching us. And we really appreciate this next segment that we've got, because I had a chance to sit down with 2 very, very dear friends of mine. You know them from our House to Home segment that we have every Tuesday after the news. Liz Duenas and Gina Campos. Of course, they are 2 of the proprietors at Remax Diamond Realty Guam. And they kind of went outside their normal commercial duties, and they and their husbands actually formed a nonprofit organization to help the children of Guam, kids that are struggling, kids that need an extra boost. This instills confidence, instills wonderful things for our community. And they actually have a run that we want you to get involved in. KUM is sponsoring this. We were all super excited to hear about this. So here's Liz and Gina. I had a conversation with them yesterday talking about their work with their new nonprofit organization, the Children's Ark. The both of you have started a very, very wonderful organization, you and your husbands, to do good things in our community. And we have an event coming up to do just that. So please tell me all about this zombie run.
So we have zombie run scheduled for Saturday, October 15. And the Children's Ark is a nonprofit organization that we formed. And basically it's to help and assist individuals that have medical issues, children that have medical issues that need assistance, financial assistance. And I think we first started to help one child that they're stateside. The other sibling had passed due to a rare form of cancer. So we formed a group where we just assisted, did fundraisers, and we raised like $5,000 to help this family. And as a result, we thought, well, we're helping one, we'd like to help others. So this organization was formed to assist families who are in need of medical financial assistance, to help them with their medical expenses, whether it be on or off island, or whether it be to help with their housing during the term of their treatment. So we're still in the early stages. It's been formed, it's nonprofit, and the zombie run, this first event is basically to help Sanctuary. So this first event or second event that we're doing is to help Sanctuary, and the proceeds will go to them. So Gina can go over other details about the zombie run, which I think will be a fun event for children and adults.
Okay, now this isn't like the race participants themselves dress up like zombies because like it's a Halloween trick-or-treat contest and everything like that. The zombies are actually chasing you.
You could you know the kids could come dressed up. It's going to be at 4, it's at Teedson Field, and we're going to start about 4:30. So you can show up dressed up. The kids can come dressed up, but yeah, we're going to have a really fun event. This is going to be our first official under the Children's Arc. It's going to be our first official event, and I just want to thank all the sponsors that have already made donations. Of course, Remax Micronesia, the New Gen Physical Therapy Group. I also want to thank KUAM Care Force.
Well, we were so impressed with the mission and just what you're trying to do. We immediately jumped on board.
There's so many people in the community, so many businesses in the community.
And by the way, congratulations to New Gen because they just celebrated their anniversary.
That's right. That's right. The Giving Tree, Rocky Pet Supply, Mescla, Select Care, GFS, TMG, Alpha Insurance, John and Associates, and Bank of Guam were all contributors. And we're welcoming everybody that hasn't had the opportunity to donate. And I just want to say, we get a lot of people who contact us, and absolutely, we always try to help. This is a focused, organized group, and that is going to be the mission, is to help people with families with medical and housing issues. We're going to try to expand this a little bit because there's a lot that we can do as an organized group to help people with even housing issues, because that's part of what's dear to our heart, right? Home is where the heart is. And our group is going to, so that's why we decided to start this. We really believe that as you succeed, you reach out around you and you try to pull up where you can and help where you can. And so we're encouraging all the realtors that hear about this, that have not had an opportunity to pitch in, show up Saturday or contact me and Liz, and we'll take your contribution. Anything we could do to help our community is welcome.
Now, can you tell me, ladies, about the name of the organization? Because when you say the Children's Arc, I mean, I think the name is so creative because, you get the arc and you say, giving a kid like a little bit of motivation, a little bit of self-confidence, a little bit of encouragement, and that is going to really result in an arc, in their life. It sets them off on the path for success. I was also going to say, like, with the word arc, if you plan on making this to rain for 40 days and 40 nights, I think we already got a head start on that today because it's raining pretty heavy. So.
Well, can I just?
Well, we first of all, we wanted to just say our global Remax group in the States, they have a foundation. It's a Miracle Foundation for Children. And Children's Miracle Network. And we wanted to tap into that. However, the organization was not going to help people here on Guam. So we figured rather than tap into the global network, we had to do something on a local level. So this is to help our local community. And in order to do so, we had to form our own organization to make that happen. So the REMAX system helps children who need medical assistance, again, but it does not help us on a local level. So this is a mechanism to make that happen. Go ahead, Gina.
Well, so why the Children's Ark, right? Where did we come up with that? If you think about the symbol of the Ark, and Noah's Ark in particular, it's a symbol of hope. It's a symbol that God never gives up on you, right? He never gave up on us. In spite of what was going on in the world and what was happening, God inspired Noah to build the ark to save humanity. And so this is kind of like our vision of don't ever give up hope. There's always somebody out there that can, we can reach across and pull you up, and we can give you a mechanism. at least try to give you hope and try to help you out in whatever you're going through. And so that's where the name came from. And what is more important, right? Than, you know, we always talk about humanity, but it starts with our kids. We need to give them the hope. We need to empower the children because they are the next generation. Some of us may have already given up hope with what's going on currently in our society, but the children, they're the ones that are going to bring in the future. And so how could it not be the children's arc?
Exactly. And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls out there, if you happen to see Liz and Gina, these two little short ladies who have like boundless amounts of energy, and if they happen to be building a big boat that looks really, really cool, and they're gathering two of every types of animal, you know there's really cool stuff happening right here on our island, and they are spearheading that. So, ladies, thank you for doing this, and to your husbands, because I know this is really a labor of love, and it's a tremendous thing that you're doing for our island family.
Thank you, Jason.
On Saturday.
Yes, so
Yeah,
Saturday. Okay, let's talk registration.
Outfit. Come out in your zombie outfit.
There you go. Okay, yeah, you can dress as the undead. That's totally cool. Okay,
That's
so
it.
real quick, what's registration, Liz?
Well, we'll start taking registration at 4:30.
Okay.
But if you want to register in advance, you could go to Mescla. You could come here to any of the RE/MAX offices have registration forms. We've got a list on our flyer, which we're happy to share with you, Jace, and then that way, you know, we can get it out there. But please stop by our office. We'll register you and collect your donation.
All right, well done, ladies. So thank you very much. And everybody, go and register, and we'll see you on Saturday. All right, so please go and register. And thank you, and Sizus Masi, to Liz and Gina and Uncle John and Leonard Campos. They were doing absolutely fantastic stuff for our community. So we really, really appreciate it. So we'll see you there on Saturday. All right, we will see you on the flip side of this break, and we are taking the craft, stagecraft, acting, directing. We have an amazing way that you can celebrate the performing arts. Ernest Choco and David Flores are here from the GATE program, and we are going to tell you about their production of Little Shop of Horrors, a classic. That's next.
Did you know that you may be at increased risk of being diagnosed with breast cancer if you have a family history of cancer? Be proactive and learn your history to help reduce the risk and catch cancer at an early stage. These conversations may be difficult to have, but they're so important. So make the time to have a discussion with family. Encourage family members to respond in a way that's most comfortable for them. Be sensitive and be a good listener. Write down who's had cancer, the age they were diagnosed, and what type of cancer. While respecting privacy, share your potential increased risk with your doctor, and they can recommend testing and screening most suitable for you. This is just one step that you can take in helping you understand your risk for breast cancer, and it may lead to early detection.
Think Pink this October. This message is brought to you by the KUAM Care Force in partnership with Island Cancer Center and the American Cancer Society.
This year, we're expanding our Decision 2022 platform to include comprehensive coverage of the election in the Northern Marianas. Stay with KUAM News for candidate conversations on Pacific matters, interviews with the gubernatorial teams, coverage of debates and forums, and live coverage on the general election night. We're your news leader, the voice of the Marianas.
Stay on top of breaking news and the biggest stories of the day with NBC News Daily. Get in-depth reporting from across the country and around the world, tips to take care of your health and your wallet, and up-to-the-minute local news. NBC News Daily, weekdays on NBC.
Watch Mariana's artists, activists, and visionaries and their quest to protect, preserve, and promote our Chamorro culture on The Culture Club, a weekly feature on KUAM News digital platform and the KUAM News Weekend Edition. Brought to you by Tropical Ice.
The Culture Club, winner of the 2022 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
All right, we are the hotspot, of course, you know this, and you know the very fine work that the Guam Department of Education's GATE Visual Arts program does. They are set to hold auditions for Little Shop of Horrors. I don't know how you wouldn't know about the very first movie, the black and white movie, the color movie with Rick Moranis, a whole bunch of people. It is absolutely amazing. I've seen it several times, and the Gate productions are absolutely stellar. Ernest Ochoco, of course, has done many, many plays here. David Flores is also with GDOE's Gate program. He's an instructor there. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining me today on the KUM Couch.
Thank you for having us again. It feels like coming home.
It is coming home because, Ernest, man, we have not had you in studio since the pandemic started.
Yeah, that's right. And it's it's been a while. And thank God we're back.
Yes.
Gate is back.
And thank God for the very fine work, of course, that David, your staff does over there, because I mean the creative arts is such an essential part of development. You know, giving kids like an outlet, showing them that these stories can be told in a very enriching way. So I mean, you guys are really doing some fantastic work there.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Why, Ernest, though, Little Shop of Horrors? I mean, I know it's part of the tradition of the Gate program. They do it every few years. As I said, I've seen some amazing productions of it. Why this play?
Well, you know, I know we've done it before in the past. I wasn't a part of those shows, but my friends were, because I was still in school. We were going to college still at that time when
but you're dating us now.
Yeah, I know. Now we're the adults. Yeah. But I've always loved this show because I think, you know, it kind of connects to the intentions of why I like to do the arts. It's a very healing story, and I think one of my true intention and my true purpose for the arts is to help reach out to our community and help us to kind of see ourselves, and to help us from watching these stories and listening to these stories, learning from them and learning how to better ourselves because of them. And now this story has something very, very important. It talks about abuse. It talks about bullying. It talks about so many different things. Poverty.
Alien invasions.
Alien invasions.
And it is such a unique play, Ernest and David, because I mean, you've got, it's almost, am I right in saying like it's a period piece, because the soundtrack is basically like 50s doo-wop, and then you've got it's set in the inner city, and you've got like this, the lead character Seymour is kind of, as you said, like the bullied, kind of like the very, very nerdy. I think I have an inkling about how that is. He's a very nerdy guy, and then he's secretly in love with Audrey, this incredibly wonderful woman who herself is dealing with a lot. So I mean, there are elements of comedy in it. It's got a very, very dark side. And the original ending is, don't want to give it away, no spoilers, but it is not happy, let's say that.
Yeah, it's not happy. The original show, the Broadway show, and the Jack Nicholson black and white movie has a different ending than the Rick Moranis version. So the Broadway show that we're using is also the very, very same original ending. So if you're not familiar with it, you've got to come watch the show, and that's when you're going to find out. But yeah, it's a story about triumph and empowerment. And Audrey, the character, the female character that you were talking about, she is such a great mirror for young women today, because there's a lot of toxic masculinity out there, and sometimes that hurts a lot of females. And
she does have a heart of gold, that character.
She does, and she finds her strength, and she finds the way that she's going to free herself from that type of tyranny.
Okay, I want to talk about some of the other cast members. We know we're going to talk about Audrey too, but David, I'm curious, when it comes to casting and picking out the right people to play these timeless characters, is this just open to GDOE schools, or is this like the Guam education system in general?
Well, that's a question that Ernest would answer. I'm the music man. So.
Well, let's talk about that real quick and everything, because as I said, there's a very distinct old school feel to the music. And there is a Greek chorus. There's Chiffon, Ronette,
and Crystal.
I always forget Crystal. Crystal Paco's gonna.
I know. I'm gonna be so mad at you.
But especially in more contemporary times, like right now. Is this a very challenging, assembly of music, because it's got that distinct, old rock and roll feel?
It's fun. That's the best way I can describe it. Is just when he mentioned we were going to do that, I already went, wow, all right.
And we've been listening to the music over and over in our office, to the point where everyone's like, we know we can be in the show now.
And picking your favorite song from Little Shop of Horrors is like asking me which of my kids is my favorite.
Exactly.
I mean, there's somewhere there's Green, suddenly Seymour, the overture and everything like that. Each one is so good.
Yeah, it's well written. It's written by the same people who wrote The Little Mermaid. So when you're listening to Ariel sing, the original melodic line comes from Little Shop of Horrors.
That's right. I never noticed that.
Somewhere that screen,
Okay, so Audrey too. We would be remiss if we did not mention the huge plant. I know a very dear friend of ours, Dr. Randall Johnson. You know, like he's directed the Laddie Tones over at UOG. He's got that big, deep voice.
Right.
I've watched it when Randy performs. You know, the voice of Audrey too, because it's this huge puppet too.
Yeah, bass baritone sound. Yeah.
And so, he nails it.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with the show, it's about an alien that comes from outer space, and it comes to the Earth and drinks a very, very interesting type of liquid that it prefers.
Which flows through our bodies.
Yeah, which happens to be something that flows through our bodies. And it also enjoys eating human beings. So it's a very, very interesting type of musical. It's back in the day, until now, it's never been done again that way. We've never had an alien species come in and invade the Earth like that.
And this was a very controversial play. I know this when it came out because, I mean, they're talking about, you know, the end of the world, you know, basically like invasion, as you said. But I mean, over time, I think it has aged well because people see thematically and the morals behind it. And you know, and again, it's a dark comedy,
right?
I would dare say, but you know, the stories aren't lost.
And it's kind of apropos because you know it's appropriate now because of the pandemic, right? And it's kind of timely that we were about to open 1.5 weeks before the pandemic hit, before we were shut down. So we were done with the show, we were ready to perform, and then we had to shut down.
Okay, David, I want to talk real quick about the music again, because we know this is your forte, right? There is that Greek chorus, right, which is always 3-part harmony, and they kind of like guide the story, you know, through the various scenes. And then you've got Audrey, who has several solo pieces, which I mean, whoever you cast in this role, it's challenging because you got to have some serious pipes to pull off her pieces. And then she has this beautiful duet with Seymour, and you know, and even his voice changes through the course of that song. So talk about like the challenges behind that.
Well, the big thing will be to find the right pieces, as you said, even with the voices singing. But in the background, what we're looking at, if we get the right people, then that sound will be cohesive. And then when the singers come in, especially the two important parts, then it's magic. But it's just a fun thing to do. You asked, is it, you know, any kind of music coming out of Broadway is going to be a challenge, but this is fun.
This particular show has
musically
really
it's
amazing fun music.
Exactly, and again, I mean, those two pieces of music, and it's always impressed upon me because both Audrey and Seymour, during various songs that they're performing, you hear the maturity and the confidence build, and that's a really hard thing for like you know, like a teenager. So, what advice do you give to teens trying to really handle the lyrical content as well as like the melody in their voice, where you're saying, okay, well, you want to sound out like this very, very shy, dorky guy, but he turns into, a very competent
hero.
Man. Yeah, exactly. Yes, thank you.
Hero, yeah.
Well, Prince, the late Prince once said, you can do all your rehearsing for music, and then when you get on stage, you have to be an actor. And I think that's the biggest advice, is you can have the pipes, but if you don't change and become an actor, then you'll never fill the part.
Right, and I think that's for everything. So everyone, no matter what discipline you're in, if you don't know how to perform it, how to act it, how to sell it, how to interpret it, how to put emotion into it, then you're not doing your job, right? So that includes visual artists as well. If you can't put that soul into it, and you can't interpret that emotional part of yourself and translate it into the page, then it's not doing its job.
Now, how about some of the other secondary characters, Ernest? Because you've got, the dentist, right?
The dentist is so fun.
Yeah, he's horrible. He's a biker. He's an abusive boyfriend. So that's a type of behavior that I would say most young people on Guam certainly, hopefully,
do not want to
empathize
emulate.
with. And then also Mr. Mushnik, the store owner, is someone who's generationally much older than the person who would probably play him, right? So how do you get young performers to get ready for those roles?
Well, we, you know, the way that we audition, it's a community effort. So we welcome students who are pre-K all the way up to college, and then we also, we also include professional performers in, so that they can be mentors for the students as well.
Oh, very nice.
Right, so it's all community production. Like when we did Mamma Mia, actually all the shows that I do are like that. So for the older characters, we try to make sure that we try to I try to cast appropriately with the age, and then the younger people, of course, I try to have them be casted for the younger roles.
Okay, so let's talk about casting right now, and I was alluding to that earlier. Is this just exclusive to the public school system, or can anybody that goes to
everybody?
So, Dodea, FD, Notre Dame,
all
Academy,
private schools, all
homeschool, even
homeschools, charter schools. It's
Excellent.
open to everyone, including our military personnel. Everybody who's on island, you can come and audition.
Okay, so David, from a musical standpoint, what should young performers look forward to or expect, like from a musical side? Should they bring their own pieces that they can then audition with, and pieces that they're most comfortable with?
That's what I would suggest.
Okay.
Yeah. So they'll be bringing in 2 Broadway pieces to sing. We would prefer it memorized, and bring a backing track that's ready to go.
Just find it on Spotify.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah, just bring it over. I'll type it up on the Prometheus.
By the way, if you guys want to actually get a like a sneak peek, and if you are auditioning and get ready for Little Shop of Horrors, I know the full movie is on YouTube. I've watched it like
a million times. Me too.
Yeah.
A million times.
And you're not saying you want to give away the ending and everything like that, but that is a great way to prepare for these roles, because you can see how other people are portrayed.
Absolutely.
But then you also make the character your own too, to a certain extent.
Right. And the rule of thumb for auditioning, right, and this is anywhere in the world, including Broadway, you try not to sing anything from the show. You want to sing something outside of the show.
You're looking for range.
Yeah, and you don't want to, because I have a vision of who I want for the show. And if you're not fitting that vision in the audition process, and you're singing the song of that character, most likely you may not get in. So the rule of thumb for any kind of auditions for musicals and things like that is you sing something from another show.
Okay.
And then I can place you into this show.
Okay, so that's a singing aspect of it, but when they want to show off like their acting chops and their ability to handle dialogue and carry a scene, what do you look for then?
So some of the things that are really that we want to see in an actor, right, is of course you need to project your voice very well, sing in tune, and just be prepared and confident when you're performing, when you're auditioning. We also have a dance audition. So we're going to have a panel of professionals like Mr. Flores and of course Cesar Medina, my other friends who are part of the choreography team and the stage management team, and we're going to adjudicate from the auditions, and we're looking for, of course, like I said, technique is really great, but it's not necessary for dance. Again, also for singing, technique is nice, but it's not required.
How big is the cast in total? I mean, because I was just mentioning,
I usually have 250 people or 300 people in the show.
Wow.
Yeah. That's including orchestra, front of house, all the running crew.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody all together.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. So David, when it comes to people auditioning as orchestral members, like what should they bring? The same rules, they have to bring like some sort of a Broadway piece?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any particular instruments or like sections, maybe like the stringed instruments, the horns, the brass end that you're looking for?
I would like to look for strings, but that's probably a dream. But the basic your keyboards and your bass, trap set, couple of horns, things that we're looking at. Even the lower woodwinds.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Okay. So this really runs a gamut, and as both of you gentlemen were telling me, I mean, there's music, there's acting, there's dance, there's there's a range within you, and I mean, so you really have to be like a 3-tool actor.
Right.
Whether you're whether you're on stage, or whether you're in the pit playing music, or I would even say whether you're back of house, because the scene changes are very dynamic and very rapid too.
Yeah, and so the one of the things that I really want to emphasize is that you don't have to be the best at what you're doing, because we're going to also train you as you're there. So I'll be training people in voice. I took classical voice for about 10 years. So I'll be training people in how to sing, and then we have choreographers who will train you in doing technique, and we're also training. I also have an acting background, so I'll be training you in the Stanislavski technique.
You're playing it off.
Stella Adler,
you know you're the man, or
stuff like that, right?
Okay.
So you don't have to be the best. You don't have to have experience. Just come in, and we'll see where you're at, and then maybe from there we can get you ready for the show.
Okay, because David, we've been final question for you is we've been saying that this play is very, very challenging. It's very rewarding, but that's not to say that you don't have to have a Tony on your resume, to actually do this. Is a great way for people to get into performing arts as their first play, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so real quick, we had the poster up and everything. What are the times and the show dates for the audition itself, Ernest?
So the 25th all the way up, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, and then the 29th. So all the way up to Friday, we'll be auditioning people from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then on Saturday, we'll be auditioning people from 12 to, I believe, 3 p.m.
There you go.
And if you would like to
Thank God for the poster.
I know, thank God for the poster. I did write that, didn't I? I just don't remember everything.
To be fair, though, as director, you've got a million things on your plate.
I have a billion things in my head. So but the thing that we would love to see is, of course, bring your 2 pieces of music, wear something comfortable, so that when we do the dance audition, you're not like falling all over your place, all over yourself. And if you have a headshot, please bring your headshot and your resume.
Very nice. Okay, this is a fantastic opportunity for young people right there. And now the fact that we can gather in person, that we can perform a play, is an unbelievable opportunity. So Ernest and David, thank you very much. Sijus Masi.
Thank you, sir.
Would you kindly take us out into commercial break by giving us like a snapshot of the overture? Like,
oh, sure.
Like little shop.
Little shop of horrors, little shop of terror, call a cop. Little shop of horrors, oh, 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 oh. There you go.
Okay, Mr. Musical Director, how'd we do?
Sounded good.
Okay. Maybe I'll show up at the audition too if Ernest and David would have me.
You are welcome to do that.
Okay, really looking forward to it. All right, we're going to take one more commercial break, and then we wrap up the show right after this.